So we also want to talk about your talismans that you collaborate with. Tell me about them. I don't really know much about them.
I'm doing these with Yasmine, who is a Montreal-based jeweler. As an astrologer, one of the reasons I got so into astrology was because of astral magic or electional astrology. I was really became enamored with this idea that you could choose times, auspicious, lucky times. And I reached out to her and I just pitched the idea of collaborating. Since then, we have actually made now a total of 3 magical talismans. And this is one that she made for me, which is a lunar talisman. So that's actually a moonstone in silver. And then on the back, there's a little image that I've carved into it, which coincides with the 15th lunar mansion. So the lunar talismans can be more personalized to each person's chart, depending on where their moon is located.
So it would be whatever the degree of your moon is.
I can show you in Leonardo's chart.
Leonardo's talisman.
Yeah, so what would Leonardo's lunar mansion be? The moon is in the 27th lunar mansion. So we would get the talisman made once the moon goes into the 27th mansion. And then I would try to choose a time when the moon's in a good placement, then pass the image onto the silver to it. And then she also will choose a time to set the crystal in it to make that auspicious too. We did a Venus and Pisces talisman. So that's the front, that's the back.
What are the symbols? What is the symbology?
So the bottom symbol there is the symbol for Pisces, and then the top is Jupiter, and then we have Venus and the moon because they were in auspicious placement. Venus and Jupiter were conjoined in the first house in Pisces, which is Jupiter's domicile and Venus's exaltation, and they were also within 1 degree of the ascendant. New moon in Taurus, so an exalted new moon, which was also an eclipse. So it was like kind of a super hit. And actually she said that when she placed the crystals in, like all kinds of crazy stuff started happening with her. So it's a very potent talisman. Let's see, we did a Mars and Capricorn. That was kind of it in process, and then that's its final. And then you can see the symbols for
They're inside.
Inside of the ring. Yeah.
Does the ring spin or move?
Yeah, it spins. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They're very slow made. Like it's very like slow. What this whole trend of what it's like slow make or slow design or whatever. They all have to do with this electional astrology. All of her crystals, all of her materials are all like sustainably sourced. So I'm very lucky to work with her. I'm the astrologer. I choose the dates and time. And how I learned all this, and if anybody's interested in learning this sort of stuff, you read this book, The Picatrix, specifically the Christopher Warnock edition. This is coming from a real practicing astrologer who makes talismans himself. And what's cool about this edition is that it actually is a lunar talisman. Also, I highly recommend reading the Carmen Astrologicum, which is like the original text on electional astrology. There's a lot of reading to do if you're into it, and a lot of like practicing and find ways to just have fun with it. But I'm very fortunate that I get to work with somebody so talented and make these really magical items.
I think it's so fascinating. I'd love for you to show it up close again. Oh, the moonstone. Okay, and then the back.
And then the back I kind of carved with a little image into it.
It's personalized. It's very intentional.
Extremely intentional. And whenever we decide to, whatever form of exchange we use to release them, they're going to come with a series of instructions for whoever becomes the owner of it, how to set intention into it. Because really, like my experience with doing talismanic work, it's not like ritualistic magic, which is very will-powered. It's a little bit more like crystals. So there's something kind of passive happening, but you charge it through devotional practice. I keep my talisman in a very exalted space in my place, and you treat it with respect because in some ways it's holding within it this part of that avatar that inception, that moment of energy, so to speak.
When you wear it, is it something that you would wear rarely?
My moon is in the 15th mansion, which is in the sign of Libra. So there's something very social about it. So I usually wear it whenever I go out. I like to wear it when I'm just like meeting with people and discussing things out in the streets, out in the world. Because they're talismans too, you don't necessarily need to wear them too. You can just have them in an exalted space in your home, maybe where you do prayer, where you do meditation or something like that.
If you want something to be very spiritually and connected to that, it makes it feel so much better that she's she's intentional with what she chooses.
I mean, many words I could use to describe Yasmine, but one of them I would say is intentional.
Thank you for sharing that with us, and I want to learn more about it. It's very, very cool.
Yeah.
Maybe someday I'll have
pleasure. That would be cool.
Thanks, David.
Yeah, my pleasure.